Yes.
Okay. Good morning and welcome everyone. We're going to go ahead and start our seminar this morning. We have with us this morning Mr. Elvis Moya. He is the Associate Athletic Director of Fan Engagement and Community Outreach. Thank you so much for joining us today. And
yeah, thank you for having me. And I'm really excited to be a part of this. When I got the request to join, I'm always excited to get the opportunity to talk to students, not only at the high school level, but also at our university here at Arkansas. And so to tell you a little bit more about myself, again, Elvis Moya, my position here is Associate Athletics Director for Fan Engagement and Community Outreach. Going into my 9th football season here, I've had the opportunity to get to see a lot of fun things over that course of time. Specifically in my role, well, let me tell you a little bit about where I graduated from. So I come from Texas. I graduated from Texas Tech University, where I majored in political science and mass communications. I had the opportunity at that time to be a cheerleader at Texas Tech and got to know a lot of people within the athletic department, which those relationships helped me throughout my career, not only get started at Texas Tech, but also have the opportunity as a cheerleader to get to see really all the full game day experiences, not only at football, but basketball, volleyball, and some of our other sporting events as well. So my career path was specifically started in the cheerleading realm and then moved into working with the women's basketball program at Texas Tech, at Texas Tech. I worked in that position and moved up and did marketing and promotions at that time for the women's basketball program. So to give you a little background about how your relationships that you make with others can help you is during my time at my second position out of college at Purdue University, I was the spirit coordinator and head cheer and mascot coach there. And I became friends with the head women's basketball coach, Christy Curry, and her family. And when Christy Curry was named the new women's basketball coach at Texas Tech after Purdue, she knew I was a graduate from there, and she gave me an opportunity to go work with her and specifically market and promote the women's basketball program. And so there I got really ingrained back into what I really knew and was able to help market and promote to the community, also with not only our campus, but also just getting to know others within the basketball and athletics world. So at Texas Tech, I remained there. My position moved up and worked in marketing for the entire athletic department for a good 6 years, and then moved on and had the opportunity to come to here at the University of Arkansas in this position that I'm in now as a part of my position. And to tell you something else on that, Christy Curry, the person who gave me my job at Texas Tech and I worked with at Purdue, she is now the head women's basketball coach at the University of Alabama. So I have the opportunity now to get to see her and some of those assistant coaches that I worked with during that time. I get the opportunity throughout the course of each year to say hello to them and welcome them to our arena. So that's always fun. And I still keep those relationships really close with her. My job here is really fun. I have the opportunity to work with our campus, our student organizations, as well as our student government association. And then I work in the community. And as part of the community outreach, what I get to do is work with our chambers of commerce, our tourism boards, and also have the opportunity to work with some of our corporate partners with those special activations that we do at games. And then I get the opportunity to work with our spirit program and our bands and really work together on collaborating on how we can make the most and the best fan experience possible at our games. One of the main projects that I started here at my career at Arkansas is a really fun concept on football game days. It is called Hogtown. And Hogtown's on Maple Street. Maybe some of you had the opportunity to come, but it's held right out in front of our stadium. And so fans have the opportunity to come out. We have food vendors, concert, we have face painting, We have balloon twisting. We have really cool sponsor activations that have free items with it. And it's just a really fun atmosphere that happens starting 4 hours prior to games. And one of the things that I was able to work on during that time was trying to really engage fans at a young age. So I get the opportunity to also work on our junior Razorbacks program. So that's for kids 12 and under, have the opportunity to be a part of a club specifically aimed towards them that gives them some really cool membership perks, including a box that's delivered directly to them at their home. And it has some really fun goods and goodies inside of that, including a t-shirt, a lanyard, their own membership card to get into games, and then some other discounts that go along with that. So there's all kinds of fun, exciting things that go along with that. So, with that, my job entails something new every day. I get to work with a variety of people on a variety of projects. It is very fun. It's the energy around football game days, basketball game days, really any of our sporting events is so exciting. The pieces that go along with that, as well as I oversee the specific marketing and promotions for women's basketball and gymnastics. So I work specifically with those two programs throughout the course of the year and market and promote their groups. I also work with my other colleagues here. So in our department of marketing and promotions, we have different marketing directors that oversee their sports. So we have somebody that oversees football and baseball, somebody that oversees men's basketball and softball, somebody that oversees tennis and track, swimming and diving. So all of our sports have coverage. Volleyball. We do have several sports that are going on, like cross-season sports. So this right now, this month is really heavy on men's basketball, women's basketball, as well as gymnastics, swimming and diving, and track and field begins later this month. We also work with our ticketing team and our ticket sales team on coming up with fun and innovative ways to sell tickets and to create revenue generating opportunities for our department. That includes coming up with ticket packages, working to get groups to come out to our games. The big piece of that is really trying to engage those that come. So we work on different promotions or in-game experiences that allow for the fans to really have a fun time when they come out to our events. So as I mentioned before, I think the fun part about my position is getting to do something new every day, having the opportunity to not only work with our students, but also working with our community. And one of the things that I would recommend to anybody who might be interested in this field is to get your feet started and volunteer opportunities. When you get to college, if you have an interest in this, I would say reach out to that marketing or promotions department for athletics and ask about what volunteer opportunities there are for you to get involved, because that's really the grassroots of getting your feet wet. One of the things that we have here at Arkansas is our marketing street team. So the marketing street team is a group of students from across campus that have the opportunity to market or have the opportunity to get behind the scenes experience in our marketing and promotions department. So they may be rolling t-shirts, they may be tossing out t-shirts, they may be handing out posters or game programs at entrances, they may be setting out pom-poms on all the chairs, they may be putting out t-shirts, carrying boxes, but they are working with us directly to continue to help build the overall game day atmosphere. And so you have to really think about it. And for some of you who may have been to Arkansas game before, there's well over like 700 people that are working behind the scenes to make this happen. And that includes our concession stands, includes our security staff, the police and the state troopers that are working all the security. That includes all of our folks that are making the sound systems work, the public announcer, the suite attendants, the ticket takers, the ticket windows. So you think about all that told, there's at least 700 to 800 people on a game that are working behind the scenes to make that game day experience the best that it can be for fans. Going back to the marketing street team, those students volunteer with us, and then they have the opportunity to select the games that they want to attend and work. And so they really get up close, and they get not only behind the scenes action, but they're really engaged in the actual experience of the event. So, you know, that is really what I would recommend to you, is have the opportunity to get your feet wet by volunteering. Getting involved in your community is a big piece of it. If you have the opportunity to get involved in your community right now, find ways that you can, so that you can continue to build your resume. That's important, building your resume. I'd also recommend getting your headshot done. If you don't have a professional headshot, I would recommend getting a professional headshot done and having that ready. So when you get to college, you have a professional headshot and you have a resume. And then really think about building your network via LinkedIn. If you have that opportunity, go ahead and begin your LinkedIn process and really showcase and highlight what your interests are. If you have a job right now, highlight what job you're in. If you have interests or hobbies, put those in there, because once you get to college, you'll want to make sure that you have that LinkedIn ready to go, have your professional headshot. Get your counselor now to begin looking at your resume. If you don't have a resume, that's okay. But think about just the simplicity of having a resume to present to somebody that you're wanting to look at the next step in getting that job. Because in my position here, having the opportunity to meet with students, one of the things that I would really make sure and recommend to you is providing somebody the opportunity to look at your resume before you present it. And it doesn't have to be a full page. It can be a half a page. It can be 2 to 3 pages. So really work ahead on building out your personal platforms. The other piece that we really look at when we're looking at people to interview for positions here is going to be specific to how not only their resume and their headshot, all those pieces come together, but what we're really looking at is their social media platforms. So think about the platforms that you have, what you're posting, what photos you have out there. Continue to build your brand. That's the piece that I really want to take with you today have you take with you today, is about building your brand. How are you making that brand happen right now so that you can continue to grow and build your own personal brand, not only to your family and friends, but to the people that may not even have an idea who you are, that might be a future employer for you. With that, I wanted to see what questions we might have. I can dive in deeper with some of the other questions that you might have, or anything else that I can help with.
Yeah, that was so interesting. It was really neat. I love your building your brand. That's a great way to look at it. So let's talk about like day-to-day life, like what you start your day and end your day. Like, what does a day-to-day life in your job look like?
Yeah, that's a very good question. My day-to-day is going to be, usually it will come in, have the opportunity to begin checking all through my emails, looking at specific pieces that I need to reply back to or get in touch with pretty quickly. And then I begin moving on working on my sports. So women's basketball and gymnastics, I try to allot time to not only work on one or both at the same time, but working through my specific sports. I work on a promotional grid, a marketing grid that we put together. It has all the information that we do throughout the course of the season, game by game. So that's a big piece of it. Coming up with maybe new promotions that we might run throughout the game. Another big piece of this position is once you work with your teams, you have not only scripts to write and put together, but you have timelines. So every game has a specific minute-by-minute timeline. So from the time doors open to the time the game's over, everything is scripted out, because when you're on TV, everything has to be specifically scripted out so that television has the opportunity to have their breaks for commercials. So all of those breaks that we take during basketball or during football, those are television timeouts. So that means they're going to commercial, and then it's also a break of game. So we have to really work on our script writing. really making sure that we're working with our coaches, have an opportunity to catch up with our coaches. And the other piece is really there's a lot of budgeting that goes along with it. So there's paying bills or putting through requisitions, making sure that you have purchase orders in place to order things. It's a big piece of the job is the business and fiscal affairs for the position, and working through budgets and what you need specifically in order to get your job done. So I would say there's a little bit that's entailed in each of that. We work with Greek Life a lot in our student organizations.
Oh, nice.
So lots of big promotions that we do with them in order for them to continue to help us have great student attendance at our games.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. We got a question from Andrew Holland Gravett. Oh, sorry, wrong one. From Jay Wilson. What do you have to do to get a child enrolled in the junior program where they get the monthly benefits?
Yeah, great question. You can go to our website, arkansasrazorbacks.com, and there is a tab at the top that you'll click on, and there'll be opportunities to enroll your junior Razorbacks. It's $40 to enroll, but you get a really cool box with the membership perks in there. If you're a member of our Razorback Foundation, or if you're a member or a season ticket holder, there's actually 2 months during the course of the season that we provide those for free as a complimentary.
Oh, that's awesome.
As a complimentary thank you. So right now that window has closed. However, you do have the opportunity to enroll. It is a ongoing enrollment. It is $40, but they do get some really cool perks, including free admission to several of our events.
That's terrific. That's really interesting. I may have to enroll my kids in that. They would love that.
Yeah. So for instance, an example of that would be right now we have, if your child's in the Junior Razorbacks program, they show their card at women's basketball games, they get them free. And then the tickets for a parent. So if parents want to attend, it's $5 or $8 to get into the game. So the kid get in free. The parents also get the opportunity to purchase their ticket as well.
That's terrific. And is it $40 a month or $40 a total fee?
Total fee. Yeah.
Total fee. Awesome.
That includes a t-shirt, the membership card, the lanyard, all those different pieces.
That's terrific. So what about, how physically and mentally demanding is your job, do you feel like?
Physically and mentally demanding. I think when crossover sports begin and you have to provide you have to provide an opportunity to not only highlight one sport, but like 3 to 4 sports. And I would say, you make the most of the job that you're doing. So I find a way to balance that in my life, in my personal life, is to really map out specifically the ways that I want to work each day on, and really dive in deeper to, okay, today I'm going to work really hard on women's basketball, on putting together some of the things I need to make sure I need to complete. But I think in part, one of the things that I would say is the balance is making sure that you are organized, and making sure that you have the opportunity to create good relationships in the office that will allow you to have a support system when you need it.
Okay, awesome. What about like education or skills? Do you have to, like, what kind of education, degree, things like that do you have to really be able to pursue this career?
Yeah, so once you get into college, you have the opportunity to take those volunteer steps, get into sports management. You can really go into any field, but I see now that several of our students are entering into a sports management field, really ones that are more targeted towards sport administration, sport management, that have an interest not only in just the sport, but also all the pieces that go along with the experience, the full game day atmosphere. So I would say, as long as you get involved and you have the opportunity, we have, different people might choose different backgrounds, but if you have a passion for this, it really is something that I would encourage you to get your feet wet and get started in college.
Okay, terrific. What about like if you wanted to transfer to another program or anything, like, is that something that is just kind of a lateral transfer, or like?
Do you mean as like if you wanted to transfer into working in ticketing or working in development?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. It really would be the skill set. So like if you have an interest in that, like right now we have a graduate assistant program that's rotation. And that rotation program allows you to not only get experience for 1 year in a department, and then you can go to the next year, you have another opportunity in another department to get experience. So that's called a rotational graduate assistant position. And so I would also encourage anyone interested that will be attending college to look at getting a graduate degree and enrolling in a program that might, sports management, for instance, here at the University of Arkansas is one, but that would give you the opportunity to get an internship. And if you have an interest in sports, working, whether that's at a professional baseball, minor league baseball, or a professional basketball or football league, or, all those pieces, but internships or volunteer opportunities are the way to go.
Terrific. What characteristics do you feel like a person should have if they're going to pursue your career?
I would say you have to have a really fun and energetic personality. You have to have you have to have that positive attitude each day. And then relationship building, I think, is a big piece of it. And you have to have a mentality that anything, you're not only just focused on one area, but you have to multitask. So I think you have to be a multitasker. And then I go back to the organization of it. So organization is a big part of this, and being able to juggle different things at different times.
Perfect. What is your favorite part of your job? That's for one of our students.
Yeah, the favorite part about my job is getting able to experience game days and seeing our student athletes getting the chance to compete at the highest level. So I would say getting the opportunity to work with our student athletes and getting the opportunity to know that I'm making a difference in what they're doing, not only on the field, but in the classroom, and giving them a chance to succeed in life after athletics.
In your position, are you able to build a lot of relationship with your student athletes? Like, do you get to meet a lot of them and really?
It depends. I get to know more of the sports that I work with. So that gymnastics or basketball, I get to know them because I see them more often. And then the other sports, I have the opportunity to not, to be involved in some meetings that they may be in, but really getting to know them by watching them. And then by maybe seeing them at, crossing paths and saying great job the other night, but really the ones that I tend to work with more are the ones that I see on that I would see regularly and not just occasionally.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. Let's give you a good one here. How about just tell us briefly about like the U of A and why you would like the culture and why someone should choose to work at the U of A.
I love the U of A because of the family atmosphere that we have here and the opportunity to be involved in this community. That is the big piece. I love this community of Fayetteville. I love Northwest Arkansas, and the University of Arkansas has provided me the opportunity to feel that I am part of a family atmosphere here. The culture is a family atmosphere, and it's one that I'm really proud to be a part of. So I would say the family atmosphere and the culture is great here.
Yeah, I can second that. My husband works at the U of A and he loves it. What are some company benefits that are offered at the U of A, like tuition assistance, insurance, retirement?
Yeah, so definitely benefits are a big piece of that. That includes your dental insurance, your eye insurance, you have an opportunity to get a discount on your tuition if you choose to continue your education. So that's a big piece of it. I have the opportunity, as well as a part of what I do, to choose a membership to work out at a fitness center in town. So that's a nice perk. The other piece that I enjoy having here is the opportunity to go to games. So we each get two complimentary tickets to home events that we choose to go to. And so that's a fun opportunity and a fun perk as well. So several pieces that go along with that. But yes, you certainly want to make sure that when you look into a position that you're working for, make sure that you have those benefits that are going to be important to you and your family.
I would say the tickets would be a huge benefit there. What about, this is a good one. Did you catch a lot of slack from coming from Texas?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a slack those years because when I first got here, I think maybe year 2 or 3, we were playing Texas Tech not only in basketball but in football. And I think one year we beat the heck out of Texas Tech, and I think the next year they came back and beat us. So it's one of those things where I will always root, no matter what, for Texas Tech when they're playing, when they're playing on their conference, and I will always root for Arkansas when we're not playing directly with Texas Tech. Arkansas is going to be my second blood, and my first blood will be when I say to others that I'm a graduate of Texas Tech. I'm a proud graduate, but I'm a proud employer of the University of Arkansas. So I will root for Texas Tech when they're cheering any other team but Arkansas, and I will root for Arkansas when we're playing Texas Tech at any sport.
Well, at least it was Tech and not Longhorns, I will say.
Yes,
University of Texas, that'd be
I'm the
pretty
same
rough.
way. There was no burnt orange in our house growing up.
Oh, thank goodness. What about things teenagers, like as you're a teenager, what are some things that you didn't really think was an important, but you realize now as an adult that it really is important for pursuing in a career?
Well, there's a lot of things that I look back, not just pursuing the career, but there was a lot of times now that I've looked back that my parents have really tried to instill in me the loyalty to the people that you are working with. I truly believe that what they instilled in me was important. I carry that with me, but back then I didn't really hear what they were trying to make me understand. I think I would hear it, but it would go in one ear and out the other. And then as I began to work through this, it was like, oh, you know what? Dad told me that. I should have really thought about that. Or, oh, you know what? Mom told me that this was going to, come up, or that I really needed to be thinking about this. And so now I go back, and as I get older, I tend to find myself saying thank you more to my parents for what they instilled in me as a young teenager growing up. To go back a little bit to what you were saying is, I think if I knew how important relationships were when I was in high school, or even a little bit through college, I would have done more on trying to specifically
make those connections,
and try to even springboard more my network.
Networking is huge. And then I even go back to like what you said with like the branding, like building your brand with social media and stuff, like because employers really do check that, like they check your social media and see what you're posting.
And that's where I go back to building your personal brand. So immediately, it was tough. Like I went from Texas Tech to here, and I mean, you immediately began to see all the people from Arkansas that followed you and wanted to know what you were going to be saying. And then you saw a decline in all the people from Texas Tech that were like, okay, he's moved to a different position. But now being able to create my personal brand, it's important for me. I speak occasionally on personal things, whether that's my dog or whether that's a recent trip to my hometown. But I'm very careful on things that could put any jeopardy on not only my position, but within our department. So, lots of times there's things that are confidential that come across our desk that we just have to make sure remain confidential. And so we don't want that information to be out in the general public without it being officially released from our department. So again, going back to that loyalty, being loyal to your employer. And then, at times things may not go the way that you want them to go. And those are times that you have to sit down and you have to share with your your immediate supervisor. Here are some things that have been some challenges, and I want to talk to you specifically about how we can continue to work through those. So those are some of the things that I continue to think about each day.
Yeah, of course. And I will tell you guys that are joining us, feel free to let your students ask any questions that they might have for Mr. Moya. I'm sure he has some really interesting stories that he'd love to tell about working in athletics. What about
I'm
like
gonna,
what's
I'm
what's
like,
that?
I'm gonna get this park and pass the one person that just stopped by.
Okay,
Sorry
yeah, of
about
course.
that. Okay. Oh, you're good. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're good. Um, what specific like math, communication, writing skills do you feel like you use the most in your job?
Communication is very important. Making sure attention to detail and things that I send out, whether that's scheduling, timelines, scripts, I have to be really detailed on it. I mean, there's occasions like if you don't catch something and the announcer catches it right before, that's something that you don't really want to happen. So, when he's saying, and now let's welcome out the Arkansas Razorbacks, and here visiting from LSU, it's the LSU Crimson Tide. And you're like, oh, I forgot to change that. I'm so sorry. He has to catch
Yeah,
it. You just have to really be careful and really have attention to detail when you're writing your scripts and your timelines. I think that's a piece of it. And then not really as much math as it is just following a budget. So if you're specific to a budget, you have to really make sure you're following that. So the way that I work on it is similar to my budget at home. Is if I only know I have this amount to use this month, that's all I can spend. I have to find a way to stay within the means. And you don't want to go beyond that, because that is being fiscally responsible. And the expectation in this role is that you're responsible for the money that's provided to you through the budget from the department.
that's awesome. Yeah, for sure. What about like what's just a normal challenge you feel like that you have at your job?
A
Like a
normal
day to
challenge.
day, like where someone be like, oh man, you have to deal with that today. Like, but it's just normal for you.
That's a really good question. I wouldn't say that there are many challenges that come my way. I think that's a good question. I think sometimes it's, and each of you know this based upon working and maybe working or even friendships, is learning someone's particular style of communication and how to visit or email or conversate with somebody who may not be in the same type of communication mindset that you are. So I think one of the challenges that I see at times is how to have difficult conversations, or how to have conversations that may be different from somebody else's thoughts on how things should go, if that makes sense. So maybe dealing a little bit with personalities and communications between members of the team, and really working together to collaborate is the big piece, and finding ways to collaborate with each other in the best way
Yeah, of
possible.
course. What about what's like a starting salary for someone in your department?
A starting salary in this department at the current time is anywhere between 43 to 46, 47,000.
Okay, nice. What about like if you wanted to advance your career, like if you want, is there other options for advancement?
Yeah, so many times people come in, you have graduate assistant. I'm going to kind of give you the levels of
Yeah, that'd
graduate
be terrific.
assistant. So you come in, there's the street team that's volunteer. Once you graduate, you could go enroll in a graduate assistantship, which will give you 2 years. Most of the time you'll get your school paid for a graduate school.
Oh,
And then
nice.
you'll work in the athletic department and get a monthly stipend. So we have students that do that here. And then as a graduate assistant, you can move on to an assistant director of marketing and promotions. From an assistant director, you can move on to a associate director, and then a director, and then an assistant athletic director, and then an associate athletic director, and then a senior associate athletic director, and then a athletic director.
Okay. So I mean, there's several levels there that you have to really
Yeah.
climb the ladder. That's
Yeah.
terrific. Um, what do you feel what drive do you have to come in every day? Like, what's your favorite thing that you're so thankful that you have your job?
My favorite thing is every day driving up to the stadium and being able to know that I get the opportunity to work in an environment that is known across the state of Arkansas
Yeah.
as the flagship school of the state. And I love the passion of the Razorback fan base. I love every day getting to know that I get a chance to be a part of it. And I'm very thankful for those who believe in me, who continue to believe in me, who continue to motivate me each day. Uh, all of those pieces for me is a part of why I do this every day. I'm excited about getting up every morning to come to work. Sometimes I'm even excited before I go to bed and still continue to work on things. But every day for me is an enjoyment because I have the opportunity to get to work for a passionate university and a passionate university that people in the state just love and love and support time and time again.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now you were saying pulling up to the stadium. So is your office in the stadium? Like,
Yeah.
are you
So
there?
my office is literally, we're looking right outside the door here, and my office is the front entrance of the stadium right here on the right outside the Broyles Center. So my office is in the Broyles Center. The statue of Frank Broyles, the former athletic director and football coach here, is right outside my window. And yeah, I have a beautiful view to right outside the stadium.
That's terrific. That's awesome. Um, oh, we have another question from a student. So, do you have to, is your job more of an 8 to 5? Do you have a lot of overtime?
Yeah, so this position is salary, which means it's not really a 8 to 5. It's really you're getting in all your hours throughout the course of the week, which is it's a 40-hour work week. You come in. Occasionally, I'm more of a little later. I come in about 8:30, and then usually leave about 5:30, 6 o'clock at times. I'm usually really short at taking my lunch break. So you do get the lunch break, of course. But then you also have to think about the games that you're attending. So occasionally, if we're working late, we have a game that we're going to be at, that starts at 7, and we're going to leave at 9:30 or 10. I may arrive at 9 o'clock the next morning. Just a little bit of flexibility there, but it's certainly something that I choose to just have a regular set morning, full day, and then I usually take a little bit of time, go let my dog out, and then head to the game at that point in time. And so it really is something that you're required to be at the sports that you oversee. You're running the actual game experience there. So you're running the scripts, the timelines, you're calling the cues, you're working with the video board, people that are in the back running the video board. So everything is timed to what you're doing. So if there's an announcement for Coca-Cola and the announcer says, we'd like to thank Coca-Cola for being a proud sponsor of the Arkansas Razorbacks, someone in the back, I will cue someone in the back on headset, hey, Coca-Cola, place on video board. And so they're putting that logo on the video board. So everything is timed out and synchronized with the script and then a timeline as well.
You were talking about having to attend. So do you have to attend every single game and every single gymnastics meet? What about, do you have to
Yep.
attend away games and stuff like that
Yep.
too, or just home?
Yeah. No away games. I have an opportunity to maybe attend one game for women's basketball, one meet for gymnastics to go see how others are doing it across the
Yeah, of course.
conference. All home football games I do attend, and because I am working usually about 4 to 5 hours prior to, 6 hours prior to kickoff, we're here preparing the fan experience, and then usually the entire game. You leave, and then for women's basketball game, I attend all of those, which is I believe 15 home games.
Okay.
And then, for instance, tonight I'll go to the men's basketball game as well to be there and there as needed, walk around, see how things are going, and then just be present.
Now you said the sports that you oversee, and you said you oversee women's basketball and gymnastics,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then you assist like with men's basketball and football as needed, or
There's not really an assistance piece there. So tonight, gymnastics is getting recognized at men's
oh,
basketball. So
nice.
the gymnastics team will get recognized. So I will help prepare that promotion with our person who oversees the basketball marketing plan.
So is there a person that like you're an associate athletic director, correct?
Mhm.
So is there one for every single sport? Like,
No, so I'm the only associate athletic director for fan engagement and community outreach.
uh-huh.
Then we have an associate athletics director who oversees marketing and digital branding.
Okay.
So digital strategy is what they call it. So that's more of our social media, more of our website, those pieces that are really entailed into the actual digital strategy. So there's a whole team that works through that. So then under in our area below, there's a director of marketing, and then there's a assistant director, two assistant directors of marketing. So
Okay.
each of them have their sports.
Awesome. Okay. And one of our students is asking, how close do you work with Jeff Long?
Yeah, so Jeff Long actually hired me here at the University of Arkansas. And as you know, Jeff is no longer here. I had a great relationship with Jeff. I'm fortunate that he provided me the opportunity to work here. So I do not work with Jeff any longer. And currently with the athletic director here, Hunter Yurchek, I work very closely with Hunter and have the opportunity to visit with him on occasions as it relates to our marketing and promotions, as well as our fan engagement for our sports.
Well, you answered the second question. They realized that they asked about the wrong athletic director, and they
Yeah.
said, how close do you work with Hunter? What about, so we're talking, while we're on that subject, what about like coaches and stuff? Do you have to work very closely with the coaches of the sports or anything?
Yeah, so we have meetings with each of the coaches of our sports. So we go over a marketing and promotions plan with them, and really work with them hand in hand on any special events or special things that they would like to see happen during the game, and then also asking for their help in promoting the games in advance, whether that's social media or through marketing, but asking for their help and making that happen as well. But yes, working closely with those coaches, keeping in close contact with them, whether that's via text or phone calls, and being there for them because specific to that, you're working to help promote their program.
Yeah, of course. I know you and I had talked earlier about working with Quinn and stuff, in community engagement. Do you work a lot with the Arkansas Foundation or anything like that for the community engagement to really help?
Yeah, so in the
program?
summertime, we do the last 2 years, we put together what's called the One Razorback Roadshow, and where we take 1 week in May where we will actually go on the road in a bus with our athletic director, our spirit squad members, portion of our band, and we hit different towns throughout the state over a course of a week. We do many pep rallies, and then we also do a reception as well as a conversation with the athletics director, a Q&A. Quinn's involved with that. We work in collaboration with the Razorback Foundation. And then we also work in I also work in in collaboration with the Razorback Foundation as we promote student ticket sales. So in order to come to Razorback football, men's basketball, or baseball games, you have to purchase an access pass, which is to be a part of that. The access pass is I believe it's $105, and you get access to be a member of the Collegiate Foundation, and also get your passes to get into those events. So it's one of the lowest prices within our conference, but you do have the opportunity to do that. And we work closely with them.
That's terrific. Now you were talking about the road show. You said that you go to different towns and do pep rallies and stuff like that. How do you
Yes.
decide what towns you go to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm working on that right now, but we try to hit the different quadrants of the state. So we want to make sure that we cover the entire state and have the opportunity for fans to be able to drive, whether it's 1 or 2 hour radius, in order to get to one of our road shows, which takes place either at a lunchtime or in the evening.
Okay. If someone wanted their town to be on the road show, is that something like they reach out to you, or
Just
they?
shoot me an email. Happy to take a look at that and put that as a part of our consideration.
Awesome. And you said that it's pep rallies and a spirit squad and Q&A with athletic director, you said? That
Yes,
is awesome.
on a bus for a
On a
week.
bus.
A lot of fun.
Do you guys bring one of your mascots with you or anything, or?
Yes, we have the mascots as well.
Wow. So is there anything that you feel like you would really like for these students to know?
I continue to harp on building your personal brand,
Mhm.
taking time to really look at when you apply to go to college, if there's an interest in this field, reaching out to someone within that athletics department, usually the marketing communications folks, to ask if there's any volunteer opportunities for you. Continue to think about building your LinkedIn network, and then also just being aware and self-aware of what you're posting on social media, because that is an important piece of what employers do look at as they begin the job process.
Terrific. And I'll open it up. If any students have any questions, you guys can shoot us a chat and we can definitely get those to Mr. Moya. We've covered a lot today. It was really interesting learning about all of that. I know my husband, he's a total Razorback. I call him a Razorback geek
A hog
sometimes.
fan for
I
life.
mean, he's a hog fan for life for sure. But yeah, if we don't have any further questions, we're really thankful that you came. We really appreciate you coming and educating us.
Yeah,
with your
absolutely. And I
career.
thank y'all for having me. If any of you are planning to come to the University of Arkansas or have interest, you can reach out to me and I can provide you more information on how to get involved with our marketing street team.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in today.
Yes, thank y'all so much. And I hope you have a great day.
You
Go
too.
Hawks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.